We got to this one address. I said, this one goes around back. He went around back, boom, drove off, left them right at the stop.
That was after getting hit by a car. That was another.
You got hit by a car?
I ended up drinking 24 Bud Lights in about 48 minutes. Drunken nomad stumbles out in the road and he hit me going 30 miles an hour.
What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this episode of All in the Delivery. This is episode 131. And guys, it's been a good week so far, but your week's about to get even better because we got very special guest joining us. But first, let me introduce you guys my co-host. You guys know him down in West by God, Virginia. Luke, how are you, buddy?
Well, we were just saying it before we got on recording how the one episode, of where I didn't swear one time, or none of us did, and in Katie's episode there, and right before we went on, I was saying, I get it because she probably had somebody. And then that intro hits, and I'm like, man, yeah, I really would have loved to have seen a reaction if they would have. Whoever was listening to the episode to hear that intro, we would have had to have edited that one. But no,
that's true. I didn't even think about that.
No, I'm good, man. It's as this is released, peak is well underway. I hope it's been smooth for everybody so far. As we record this, we've got the seasonal people out. We've got PVDs, helpers, the whole nine. I'm a little scattered about because I do not have a helper, but the PVDs have kind of reined me out of my area. So I'm doing some more country stuff, which isn't bad because I can take my lunch at my house. It's been good so far, but we'll when this gets released, we'll see the tune I'm singing. But yeah, I'm doing good, brother.
Good, man. Good. I'm glad. Yeah, I actually had my first. I know this is gonna sound so weird because this episode gets released like just before Christmas, but I just had my first helper today as we're recording this, which is Friday, November 22nd. So. Yeah, I know. Helpers are out. PVDs are out. They're all running around like maniacs, and it's good. So,
Great word to use.
Maniacs. So before we get started and with our special guest today, just got to give a quick shout out to our Patreon subscribers. Shout out to Tony, Starla, Sam, Luke, and Jacob. Thank you guys for the continued support and being a part of the family. And listen, if you want to be a part of the Patreon family, go to the link in the bottom of this episode, patreon.com/AITDpod. Get exclusive content from your favorite UPS drivers.
Or at least
that'll make someone mad.
However.
Someone will be offended by me saying that. Guys, we are so excited for this one. So let's get it started, huh? Guys, I know I'm sure a lot of you guys, he's made his rounds around on Instagram. You guys have probably seen the name UPS Maine before. There's some fun things about him, and we're so excited to get into it. He was in the wife carrying World Championships that was hosted in Finland. Guys, he also is a coach of his local junior high school football team. He's happily married with 3 kids. Please give it up for UPS Maine, David Castro. How are you, brother?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
Oh,
Good, man.
That got me amped.
I'm amped up. I know.
Yes.
Dude, let's get going.
Let's go.
Going on.
How has your peak season been so far? Just getting underway.
Pretty good. I take my last 3 weeks of vacation, because we just got out of the playoffs. So when I come back, it's like full-fledged going. And
nice.
I have a helper right off. He loads my truck. We go every year. He used to be a driver, So I'm lucky because my truck's, set the way we want it. And then he comes out with me. He knows how to use the board. So for me, it's like,
Pristine.
awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have to train a guy. I've had him now for the last few years, and it's great. We have a great relationship, good friends. So good for me, good.
Dude,
but
awesome. That's the way it should be.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Like, why can't we have them all like that?
You got to remember though, man. Like, I've been doing this 26 years now, and it's like I kind of, hey boss, I'm dictating. Like, here's my guy.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? Like I'm not into that. Like, hey, they're gonna meet this guy on some random street. Like I'm not down with that anymore. I kind of show up and I'm like, here's the deal.
That's it.
But like I said, I'm on my way out, so I can do that. Whereas some people can't.
It's not. You're not an under 5-year driver trying to big boy yourself around because that's.
No.
So yeah, I understand, and I have that. At my building too, I feel like when it's somebody that is because I've been at UPS 17 years. I haven't been driving 17. I've been driving about 12. But when it's somebody like when it's a 25 or over driver, I feel like I look at that different, especially now because they're like I feel like and I don't want to. I hate to say, like, I turned into a back in my day guy. I didn't even realize it. Yeah. But it was like, you're on the 9. You can opt to be on the 9-5 list as soon as you start driving. Like, shit. The 9-5 list, obviously, it wasn't around when I started driving. It obviously wasn't, that shit wasn't around when you were in. No. And, like, you just got, for me, and I feel like a lot of people, and Dave's been driving just about the same amount of time. And it was always kind of the same way where if you were lower seniority, you were getting shit on. If you're getting done, you're getting the green light. You're going to go help somebody. And it's a lot different now, at least what I see in my building. But yeah, I'll just to get back to that. Yeah, if you can, when you got 26 years in, thinking about it, we've discussed this before with helpers. It's so you're just meeting somebody you have no idea. Don't know them from fucking Tuesday.
Dude, it's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, like mine. I give him a call. And, like, he doesn't even have a voicemail set up on his phone.
Right.
So he doesn't answer. There's no voicemail set up. I'm just like...
I feel like that's not that uncommon anymore, though. Because most of my voicemails, I end up listening to, like, 20 at a time now, and I'm almost 40. So
See, I can't... I'm at the point, man, where I can't stand any of that stuff. It's like, if it takes me 10 minutes to meet him, 10 minutes to do, train him and do... Like, I'm out. You know what I mean? I'll tell my boss, I just don't want to help her. And they'll be like, well, you need one. I'll be like, nope, and I'm gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to me,
you would get done faster by yourself anyway,
It's got to be like snap with me. So, like we have it down great. But, like, I'm over those days of, like, hey, let's go meet some old dude who's, 70. And it's like, no, like, you guys know me. I'm running. I'm going.
Swear.
I'm like, no way.
What is it with them? What is it with them dude, I swear to God, I'm so glad you said that with this 70-year-old helper because we've had all variations and all varieties, and I've had one personally. This guy was he wasn't 70, but he was old, but old for his, like, out of shape, bad for his age. Like, he wasn't that old, but for... Like, he couldn't lift a 30, 40-pound box and not grunt.
What's the point? I know. Can't we just go to colleges and, like, get, like, track kids or something? Or, like, football players? And be like, hey, you want some money for 2 months?
Set up a job fair at the college. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, with some studs. And let's just do it, right?
Some running backs, some fucking...
The people that look, because... I've just seen a couple
Dude,
over the years. Like, why? Like, you're thinking like they're going to be doing. You're jumping up on and off of a jump seat. These people are like, yeah, we're going to put a vest on you and get.
No, I can't. I'll leave them. I swear to God, I'll leave them, man. I've told my boss that too. Like, if you're not back in the truck by 10 seconds, I'm gone. like when they do rides with you.
Well,
Those guys are like high alert when they're with me. They're like, shit, I gotta get back to the car. You know, imagine a helper. I'll leave them at the friggin' gas station. I'm no. Yeah.
You not only share the same name, but you share the same philosophy because Dave's done that before. So
yeah,
I've never left one when I've had one.
Out, man. Yeah, like don't.
I had this kid that was slower than a fucking snail. And I took a video of him like walking up to the house.
Yeah.
And I sent it to my boss. I said, I'm ready to leave this kid on the side of the road. And my boss says, do it. And I don't think he thought I was gonna. But sure enough, we got to this one house. I sound just like the intro because that was the story I was telling.
Yeah.
And I said we got to the one house and I told him this one goes around back, and he walked around back. I just drove off.
Come on, dude. If you have time to film your helper and send it to your boss, and he's not back to the truck yet,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's an issue. Like from the start.
What's so funny is I just thought about how we were talking about all these old helpers and how they just suck. And then, like, all I could think about is a driver's listening to this, like, on their Bluetooth speaker right now, and their helper's, like, 70 years old sitting in the
he's going, dude, what the hell?
Oh, shit, they're talking shit about me.
Right. That sucks. Yeah. Hey, man. Hey. Yeah.
It's not for you, buddy. If you're listening, it's not for you.
Sometimes, but you can be in shape. I mean, 70's pushing it. That should not be a time, but you can be in shape at 60 years old and probably still be a decent driver helper. But you got to be in shape. You can't be an old 60-year-old person because I think that's the dude that I had was 61, and he was just not. I mean, it was immediate. I don't know if I've had to have told this story on before, so I won't go too deep in it. But this one dog that I used to always show years back, and he's still alive, but he's not allowed to go to the building anymore. Because this was a auto shop, like a commercial stop, but it wasn't because he bit anybody or anything. The dude had to change insurance, and they wouldn't cover it if he kept the dog there. So he. But dude, friendliest lab I've ever. I mean, you know, most labs are friendly anyway. But dude, he was a friendly one. Always was real nice. I didn't want this dude was asking me weird questions, and I already saw that he was going to be old and useless, and I was already annoyed and didn't want to. So I've always said that dog sensed. It's since because at this point I had a rapport. I've seen this dog for a couple years at this point.
Yes.
And he would always roll over on his belly, and I'd always rub his belly. And I swear, I told this guy, I was like, the dog's friendly. You don't have to worry about it. And I'm feeling as I'm rubbing him on I felt the vibration in his chest, like of him growling. And I went, what the fuck? And dude, lunged at that dude. And we stopped him, and anyway, he didn't get bit, but rattled that fucking guy and ruined his driver helper experience, which was great because he wanted off guard.
Story. That's a totally true story. I've had it happen too with helpers, and they can sense the fear. It's like the nicest dogs. In fact, my on-road supervisor, we've got two of them that I usually go out with. One of them's cool. If one guy shows up, I swear to God, it's like the nicest dogs are just gruffed up and ready to go. And I'm like, boss, you got to like stop. Like, what's your deal? He's like Hannibal Lecter when he comes out. You know what I mean? Dogs just are like, it's like, relax, man. They can sense you, but you're totally right. They can totally sense it.
Oh,
and
dude.
It like ruins it. It's like, oh my God.
It does, man. And that poor guy that owned the place, like it was his, like, it was his dog. I mean, I figure you have to own the place to have a dog in there, you know, unless you had a really cool ass boss. But he wouldn't let him come back for a while because he got paranoid. But he let him, like I said, he brought him back and he was cool. But then he had to take him back out again. But that was that's probably my favorite driver helper story I have because that dude literally got off car. Yeah. He didn't want to. He was like done. that made him, rattled him so bad. He was like, I don't know if I want to keep going. I don't know if I want to do this. I was like, dude, do you want me to take you to your car? Like, yeah.
You want me to take? Yeah. You want me to take you home?
Yeah, I was like, I'll drive you to your doorstep, man. Just tell me where to go.
On that with the dogs, not to change a quick topic, have both you guys almost been bit, or what's your scariest? Like, because I went 25 years, and then randomly out of nowhere, when I went to walk on some lady's porch and like go to throw the bag, hey, she never comes out for some reason. She tried to they tried to reach around the screen door, or I'll take that type of deal. I'm talking 25 years of not ever even being, I've we boxed dogs off with our boards, but like this was full on fight. Like I got like 5 stitches in my pinky, thing almost bit it off. It's like Cujo, big dog.
Oh boy,
for some reason she opened the door, tried to do the reach around, and she's big. She covered the whole door, man, and that dog friggin' boom, blew her out of the way. She went on her porch, and I'm like face to face with Cujo. It was the craziest thing ever, man. Like we were throwing blows. I jumped up on her car like Spider-Man. You guys would have been so impressed me jumping on that car, man.
I'm not shocked that you were able to do it because you're an in shape dude. So
I'm lucky it was me, because some of the cover drivers we have, they might have been dead. Like this thing was huge. Saint Bernard.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
That
and
is
like
a big dog.
like you have to make a choice. Like you're cornered, and you're like, okay, shit, I got to do something here. So like, you get your dyad and you give it one good punch. That's how it bit me. I punched him, and when I was pulling out, he bit me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I freaking Spider-Man on top of her Lexus, something, there's SUV. He jumped up there, like bleeding. I'm like, what? What? Like, I couldn't believe that. That was like 2 years ago, or whatever it was. It was just like I'd never had anything like that happen to me. It was like right after, it was like that year after COVID, and like that spring, everybody was letting their dogs out, and like they wanted, hey, go meet the UPS guy. You haven't seen anybody for a year. Right.
Yeah, because everybody, when COVID first happened, everybody was weird about their dogs coming up to us. I'd noticed that immediately, because people would be like, I mean, luckily I was just before I bid the route that I'm on now, but there was that part of it sucked, because the dogs that you'd normally see, people would be like, oh no, you're back here.
Yeah, like it was weird. Like that spring, everybody wanted to be like, oh well, we got to introduce the dog to somebody. Well, here's the UPS guy. Let's hey, no, he's okay. He hasn't, like, no, don't do that. Like, why are you opening your door?
No.
Anyway, it was crazy, man. It was intense.
But
go
ahead, Dave. Go ahead if you're going to answer.
I know, because I was gonna say, so I've never, knock on wood, I've never been bit. Like I've been like nipped. You know what I mean? But like I've never been like, seriously bit, if you will. But I mean, like I had an instance like earlier this week where it was this older guy, and I knew they had a dog, because I've only been on this route for like the last 2 months now. Like I just bid this new route, and I'm on this route now, and so I'm still getting to know everybody, getting to know all the dogs.
Yeah.
And I'm walking up to the porch. I'm walking up the porch about 5 steps up, and I hear the dog inside, and this older man opens the inside front door, and I was like, this is probably not going to be good.
It's not good.
It's not a good start. And then all of a sudden, sure as shit, the German Shepherd busts the screen door open, pushes the screen door open, and comes like running at me, and then the old man, this German Shepherd can probably take this old man, and the German Shepherds are strong. This old man's not so much. As we were just talking about old helpers, like this old man's just not strong at all, and like he's trying to like grab the dog's getting away from him and everything, and I'm like backing down the steps as I'm like facing the dog. I got the box out in front of me, I got the dyad out, like ready to cold cock this thing. Yeah, dude. And then the thing like bit the box. Yeah, it went at the box. And then, like, the guy, like, grabbed the dog's tail and started, like, pulling, like, the tail back. And then, the dog yelped. And I think the dog nipped the owner on his hand. Like, when he like, went to go get him. And then, like, he grabbed him by, like, the collar finally. Yeah. And he was like, I'm sorry about that. And it's just, like, you try not to, like, get your, emotions, like, get the best, because your adrenaline's now going and shit. But, like, it's not the first time, and it probably won't be the last.
Yeah, and that's what happens. Yeah, that's what I try to tell everybody, that, like you said, so you hit it with the box, it bites the box, he gets his tail pulled, and then they kind of stop, you know? Like when it happened to me, I fucking whacked him with my fist, and he didn't, normally, and like, that's like my instinct, and then normally the dogs will stop, and, you kind of back up from each other, but he like did it, he kept coming, and I was like, oh my God. So like, same thing with you, if you like, if you hit him with the box and he kept coming at you, that's what that was like, and I've never had that happen, because usually when you whack them,
they St. Bernards have them big ass heads, man. Of all dogs you'd have to hit, be one that's got the fucking head that's like the size of an engine.
Dude, I know, my fist must have been halfway down his throat, and I pulled out. He friggin' clocked on, but I've never had that before, where you yell or you hit and then they keep coming. They normally stop, and then that gives you time. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I thought I was almost 5 years away from retiring, and this friggin' dog is gonna, unbelievable.
Fuck.
Not today, dog. Not today, man.
No.
In recent years, I haven't. But funny, we were mentioning the Katie Justice episode. I actually got bit that day. Well, that night, because that was on a Friday, I got nipped on that one. But I've never been like seriously fucked up. But I've been, because the come here, let me see of videos and the Insta stories and all that shit. When I first started, long before I had Instagram or anything like that, I was dumb. Like, I would just be like, oh no, you guys will see I'm a good guy. Like, I wouldn't go into, like, if it would be like a German Shepherd in a fence, like rabbit, I'd be like, I wouldn't that bold. But if it would be sitting there chill and I couldn't get a read on it, I'll just be like, oh, he'll see I'm all right. I'm just here to do it. Like, now if I don't get a read on it, I'm like, nope.
No.
I don't even bother. But so in my early career, I've not gotten the worst that I've gotten bit. Actually, the last time that I got bit was the worst time, and it was where it was a friend of mine's. It was off record because it wasn't that bad, and it was on my leg, but she got me bad enough that it fucked me up. It was bleeding. And so I had to like ask. It wasn't his house. He was at his mother's, like I said, and he was just over there. And he had to. I was like, dude, as long as she's got all the shots and she's updated, but if not, I'm gonna have to fuck. I was like, I'm gonna have to call this in. But so that was good and everything. So I've not had an official one on the books, but
it's scary, man. Especially like you said, we're talking about helpers. You have helpers, or like even like your boss, and it's like it's this weird vibe. And like I tell my boss, I'm like, why are you even still walking to the porch? I'm like, let's just bag it, leave it at the end of the driveway. You know what I mean? Like why are you even trying? Well, I'm like, no.
They always try to be superheroes.
Yeah, like just leave it. Like you see your helper running away from something, you're like, dude, just don't even.
Right.
I know, dude. Right. I know. 25 years, and I almost lose it 5 years in. Left to go.
Almost lost a pinky for it, man. You got you held on to it at least.
Yeah, so of course, I call it in. Hey, dude, I just got mauled pretty good, yada yada. We all have J-hole friggin' building managers, So I call my supervisor first. He's like, oh, I'm on road, call the building manager. So I call him, and of course, first thing out of his mouth, so can you finish your run? We've got nobody here to help. And I go, asshole, what about you? You're there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, if you, and I go, you know what? I wouldn't accept your help anyway. So yeah, I guess I'm good.
It's like, oh, you only need stitches. It's not like it's severed off your
No big deal. Can you finish your route? We don't have anybody, and that's why I told him. I said, really? Because you're sitting there right now. Oh, like unbelievable.
Isn't it crazy how like it's this? Because this is episode 131, and we've talked to a lot of drivers, and it's the same shit everywhere. It really is.
Because
it's the same shit.
Dusty,
There's one supervisor school, and every single one of our supervisors go there, and they teach the same shit.
It's the same person. It absolutely is.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, well, can you finish? Can you finish the day? Like, they will ask you that. If you get hurt, can you finish the day? Like,
right.
No, asshole, I'm calling you just to chat. Like,
Yeah.
I'm calling you to let you know, no, I can't. Like, God,
Yeah, I know.
damn it.
Like, I'd rather not, but if I will, but
It's like,
we'll get
how
your
much?
yeah.
Yeah, it's
unreal.
bleeding profusely. How many
Yeah.
stops you
Blood
got
have you
left?
lost?
Yeah, like, so if
I
you
know.
have 12, 15 stops left, you should have enough blood, plenty to drive
right.
safe, work
To
safe.
drop, try not to be over.
Oh, it bit off your right
Unbelievable.
foot. You still have a left one to drive, right? You're
Unbelievable.
good.
Yeah, make sure you punch out before you go to the hospital and get that stitched up. Can you bring the car back first? I'm like,
Can you bring
yeah,
the car
Right.
back?
okay, thanks, dude.
God,
That's
it's so
unbelievable,
true.
man.
It's so true.
Yeah,
It,
trying to
it's
fight
so
the
good.
dog off so it doesn't kill the owner too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like trying to get it. I'm like, you might want to go inside. Like
Your dog's
you're gonna
a bit
get killed,
wound
and
up
I'm
right
gonna have
now.
to jump back in there.
Dude, it's so funny because I literally saw one today, an older one, and one that I've known for a while. That area that I'm delivering in, I've covered it a lot of times on the route. I've covered that route for years, and I didn't know, like, he's really friendly, but like I said, he's old, but man, like, I was just, when I was petting him, and I got big hands, dude. Like, I'm not small, and I'm petting this
Right.
dog, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, dude, yeah, them things are big, man. These are big fucking dogs.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
dude, crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh well.
So 26 years you said? 27?
Yeah, 97 I was a helper, and then 98 I got hired on, and I did
Nice.
I did the I think it was 4.5 years after that, something like that. So 90. What's my seniority? 2002? Yeah, 2002 was
Okay.
my full time.
Started
So
driving.
4 years preload, and for that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we also heard that you're very good friends with our past guest that we've had on, Sean Avery.
Yes. Sean Avery's
So-
the man, dude.
Did you guys end up, like, how long did you guys end up working with each other at the one building?
So Sean came in. Sean got in when he was younger too. Like he's younger than me, but he has like more seniority than me.
Okay.
I think he got in because I didn't get in until I was 25. I think he
Okay.
came in like right after high school, right there. So we were in the same building, and it was like a preload. I was on the preload. He had just started driving. So when I met Sean, I think he was like 1 or 2 years in driving, and I was on the preload. So one of those type of things. And
Yeah.
then we all started moving around. Like he stayed there, and I went like down south and went up north. And 'cause, I'm trying to get my first driver's bid, so I'm like way up north in Maine, and all the way down south. Living with friggin' people I don't even know. And but we just stayed close, close from there. Because I think we respect, the way we lay down and handle things and. So yeah, for a while since he's been, since we've been in, we've just never really like had tight runs together,
Yeah.
And there was one point when we both worked out of Portland. I was a cover driver and he had a run, and dude, that run was like ball buster run, and I'm pretty proud of I can pretty much blow runs out of the water. You know what I mean? That's kind of like my deal. Like I'm a runner, whatever. Everyone knows it. And
Oh, dude, you're coaching football. You gotta be. I
gotta
understand.
get out. I don't give a shit. I'll skip my lunch and go coach kids, right? I can go see my family, right? But his run, I swear to God, I could never come out even on that. And I tried so hard one day. I set everything up. I was covering that run, and like I got done at like 5, and I was like so proud of myself. But it took like so much. He had keys for everything, and he was just. God, that Cumberland Ave run, man, he just had that down, and I was always so just, out of respect. I've always just respected him because I feel like I'm a pretty good worker, and to not be able to, finish somebody's run like they do, for me, I can usually, get runs and be like, no big deal.
Blow it out, kill it.
Yeah, blow it out.
Yeah.
I could never do that with his run when we were younger, but I've always had just ultimate respect for him and how efficient he was. And he's great, man. He's like Mr. UPS, dude. He does everything right. No ECs. It could be a blizzard. And that,
Dude,
that
right?
he'll walk. Yeah, he'll walk 4 miles and get a box. He's unbelievable. You know what I mean? And guys like that, they're a dime a dozen, man. They don't, at UPS, it's like you get guys like that, and yeah.
And then they get mad at him and punish him for not taking his lunch. And I'm like, dude, this guy's walking off stops, and you go, fucking guys are pissed off because he's not taking his break. Fuck off.
I always joke, like you look up the UPS, like the perfect with UPS, and it'd be Sean Agri, you know what I mean? Like, stays fit, in good shape, great with customers, and does everything right. And you're right, they like shit on him. Like, hey, why you out till 10 o'clock? I don't know, J-Hole, because you gave me 12 hours of work, and I'm getting everything.
Right.
Like, maybe that's why. Like, come on, man. Like, he's great, though. I love Sean, man. We have a good relationship, and we always, we'll text each other every now and then and about stuff or, whatever it is. And
totally.
He's good, dude. He's a good guy. I like him.
It's really awesome because, like, you'll see him post the pictures on social media of him bringing in, like, 10 pizzas, like, for his coworkers. Like,
he does.
Like, that's, like you said, that's a dime a dozen in itself. Like, you don't find drivers just, like, wanting to help and, help out other drivers like that. You know what I mean? Because that little goes a long way.
And I want to interject real quick to say about how it is a dime a dozen, because when you were saying, like, when you said the runner thing, I feel like the people that will say that are the ones that are just pissed off and disgruntled anyway. And it's always like, if there's one thing I've learned at this point, like, people they can work how they want to work. If you're going to, you can control what you want to do. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It's fucking, but yeah, I feel like the people that bitch about that the most are like the ones that are just fucking petty old pricks anyway.
I know. I don't worry too much about it. Like it. Yeah. I'm not worried about my work ethic and what they think. And like I said, I got shit to do, man. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I understand that the more I do, the more you're gonna get. Hey, take your lunch, bro, and just, get that coin. And they'll, like a year later, they're going to light me up. I don't want to wait a year. I got a team to coach, Like, I just go tell my boss to pound sand. Like, you know what? Just don't call me. I'm not helping. You already gave me 12 hours. I'm going to do it in 7. You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't call me. Right. Hey, they didn't even call me. I come in. I can show up at 4 o'clock. It's like, see ya. And they know, because they know I did it. So it's a give and take, you know what I mean? But
it is.
Yeah. No, like you said about Sean with the pizzas, man, like it used to be like that. Like a lot of us older guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm an older guy now, I'm like I'm like a young older guy. I came in, probably a couple dyads in, like I knew guys that were doing it on paper. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And it's like those guys are gone. And guys like Sean and me, like we grew up in that era of like, we'd all go play, volleyball or something, together, like, and go meet up, and there'd be Christmas parties, and there's just not any of that. And it's very like it is weird. And even like this, even like your on-rows would hang out and do some stuff with you. You know what I mean? It was just different. Yeah. And like I was just talking to a guy who's retiring this year about like how cover drivers always like they always leave the car empty. Like guys cover my run, and it's like I keep my truck immaculate. It's like brand new. I never had a brand new truck. I got one like 4 years ago. It's the first time in my entire career I've ever had a new truck. Right. So I keep that thing immaculate. I always do. When I was a cover driver, I always left it cleaner than it was. Always filled up with gas. Always swept it. I was talking to a guy about that and how we go, it's just not like that anymore. Like we don't have a car wash guy in our building in Wells. Like you got to wash your own cars. And
Same.
It's different.
Same.
A Saturday guy comes in, and Monday you show up, and the trash can's full. And, in one day, you're like, what the? You know what I mean? It's just different, man. And,
it makes it makes you wonder, like, did that start, like, did that change start when UPS started having budget cuts and, like, started taking, no longer handing out turkeys to drivers, you know, and then, like, is that at the time when that shift happened? Because it's like, okay, because now, I feel like in those times, it changes the mood because here's UPS giving back to the drivers in a different way. So it's gonna heighten everybody's mood. That's obviously. So it's almost like that more camaraderie with outside of the union aspect, obviously. But the more it just seemed like there was more camaraderie like then.
Yeah, there absolutely was, man. And you talk about the turkeys, but I think the biggest thing was once, UPS made that shift. Once we went public, things started changing, especially in management. And it was almost like they were kind of trying to get rid of some of these older guys, these guys that have been there a long time. And those guys were really good supervisors, like building managers and guys, that when I got hired, they'd already been there like 20, 15, 17 years, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And they got it. And they were, those are the kind of guys, they'd be like, hey, Dave, I need some help. And you'd go help a guy. And then all of a sudden you'd go to your car and there'd be like a 6-pack of beer or something, because you helped out a guy, know? And once they started getting rid of those guys, those strong voices, and they started bringing in kids that didn't have strong voices and were just yes men, that's when everything kind of started changing. Because you didn't have anybody that would tell their boss to screw off. Our old bosses, when I came up, would tell the division manager, go pound sand. This is my building. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. They don't do that anymore. And I'll talk to my boss. I say, boss, just tell your boss to fuck off like I tell you to fuck off, right? And he goes, David, I can't do that. I'll get fired. You know. And I said, well, that sucks for you because now that's what it's like
world.
Now.
It's the world. That's the world in general, right there. Like
it is.
Everybody gets too sensitive now, and that's no.
Dude, our division manager one time said that because it was when it was getting kind of heated on and off. He said he came in and said if anybody yells at each other or supervisors, you will get fired. Which it didn't really hold up because we eventually ended up doing it anyway. But the fact that comes out of your mouth, I'm like, really? Yeah. That's what it's coming down to.
You lose all credibility. It's like you're not even a leader anymore. You're just a dude taking somebody else's, whatever. So that's what it is. That's what UPS is. They're full of those guys, and all those good guys were gone. There's maybe a handful of those guys left that I even know of in Maine still that were really good guys. Would go the extra mile, and they got rid of them when they retired. There's one or two in the state, man, that are from that when I got hired, and that's about it. And it's pretty bad. It's
Is it just because it's just like the way it is now because people were in fear? Like were they just not in fear of losing their job or speaking up because they weren't? Because like when do you know when the company went public? I don't know that offhand. Do you know when? That was
a long time ago. That was Jesus Christ. That was
late 70s maybe.
No. They went public so I got hired in 97 helper, 98, and then I think before I even went driving full time.
Oh shit! It was that late. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I think it was like that 98-ish, 99, where they they split or something, or
I got it right here. It was November. It was November 10th, 1999.
Okay. Fuck, I did not know that.
Yeah. Because I remember I was trying to become a full-time driver at that point, and they split, and a lot of those managers made a ton of cash because the stock split. And a lot of them bailed out, and a lot of them stayed. But after that, that's when everything, you see the stories on TV with Boeing and all that stuff, and these companies that merge and buy out, and it just gets shitty. And that's really kind of when that started was right at that time. Yeah, right as I got on as a driver, and you could start seeing it, and they started getting these guys out.
Yeah.
Crazy. Hey, man, now. You know what?
So you literally got to see the last of that's wild.
The last of the Mohicans, dude. Yeah, I was
wild
in it.
To think about.
Yeah, like I said, it was cool. It was cool talking to drivers that would make fun of like being out in the rain with like 50 stops, writing it down on paper.
Yeah.
Like how wild is that?
I still have a couple. There's still two guys that I have that were on, and they've been around for a while. Like Jeff,
30, 35-year guys. Yeah.
Yeah, they're closing in on 40. Jeff and Mark. Yeah, they're getting there, man. I know. Jeff, I think, shout out to you, Jeff Kohler, if you listen to this podcast or not. I think he's retiring next year. Yeah, Mark,
retire.
I don't know.
Retire. It's not going to be anymore. How much more of the pension do you want, man?
I'll tell you, man, because I think about it. I'm like, because when this comes out, I'll be 40 because I'll turn 40 December 6th. And I always think to myself, I'm like, Man, that's my entire life. Like from the day I was born, man. That's a long time. It's a long time to be doing this.
Yeah,
shit.
like honestly, man, if I can just find a gig with some insurance, just to cover us, I'll work for free at that point. You know what I mean? Because the money's going to be fine. The pension, everything's there, hopefully. I'll be fine. You know what I mean? It's just the insurance. But I got some stuff I want to do. I'd like to go coach some college or some high school, move up a little bit.
Let's get into that because I wanted to bring that up with coaching. So before we talk about your coaching, did you so did you play high school or any? I don't know if you went to college or not, but did you try to? I'll just let you go on with that, like your football experience.
Yeah, so I played sports in high school. I did football, wrestling, and track, and pretty good. I 3 football letters, 4 wrestling letters, and 3 track letters. So pretty good. So I was kind of figuring out, what did I want to go to college for, type of deal. You know what I mean? But
right.
I grew up in San Diego, so like competition out there was like, dude, like intense. You know what I mean? Like I was a pretty good track runner, and it was like there was like a dude just like me at every school. You know what I mean? So you're always competing. So for me, I was like, okay, like I'm not going D1. Like, do I want to run track? So like my love though was football. So I walked on at Boise State, and I graduated in '92. I walked on at Boise State, and I stayed there till '95. My last year, I still had 2 years eligibility because I redshirted my first year, and then I was there for 2 years, played for 2 years, and my last year we won the Big Sky Conference, and we played in the national championship game, and we lost to Youngstown State when Jim Tressel was the head coach.
I was about to ask that. No shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and we played at Marshall. It was fucking cool. We flew out there. We played at Marshall. The game was on CBS. We were 1AA at the time, but it was cool, man. To go there and you got and that was a pretty cool experience. So for me, that was like, it's not going to get any better than this. Like, I'm not going pro. I'm not going to go play Canadian football. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, even though I had some eligibility left, I was like, I'm just going to go look to something else. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, to me, like, I'd kind of made what I wanted to do and was a part of that. Like, I didn't play a lot. I didn't start. I probably got, 4 plays. Like, I probably got like 7 or 8 plays total of actual game time. But like 3 of those plays were in a national championship game. Like,
dude, I was going to say, Boise State's a pretty revered program now, so just to say you played at Boise State is pretty fucking cool in my eyes, brother, because, I mean, I played for a D2 school, so I would say my team, nobody would have heard of that, but most people know.
Yeah.
If you say, so did they have the blue turf back then, too? Has that always been a thing?
Yeah, it was that AstroTurf, though. It was like that dusty,
the old shit, yeah.
Dude,
the back porch turf.
Yeah, California kid, I'm playing on grass. It's like, I'm from San Diego, and I go out there, and it's like 40 and 30 degrees, like raining, and then like it's snow, and you're all turf, oh my God. I was like, what am I fucking doing here, But it was awesome because we threw the ball a lot, and I wanted to play receiver, so, I got to play a lot of scout team, and I got to play with some guys that, tried to make it pro and stuff like that, and, It was cool, man. It was a really growing up opportunity for me, and it helps me now as a coach, because I can talk to kids about it. Like, hey, man, like you're not where you need to be, or like, hey, here's what it's like, and it's cool. It's a great experience. I loved it, and that's kind of how that went, man. I went for it. I went and walked on. I knew a kid that went there, and I walked on and did the whole Rudy thing, the scout team player thing, but the coolest part is that. Not being a scholarship kid, I didn't have a scholarship, and at the national championship game, so it's almost halftime. So we're gonna throw some Hail Marys because we're down by 2 touchdowns, right? Youngstown State got up on us quick. I see my receivers coach looking around, right, and I've got these 3 kids in front of me, all junior college transfers, all like 6-foot guys, can run like the wind. They're all on scholarship. He pushes them aside, man. I'll never forget this. And he goes, Castro, go in. We're running Big Ben. Go be the single receiver. And I couldn't fucking believe it. He pushed those kids aside because I worked hard. You know what I mean?
Come on, let's go.
That's fucking awesome.
And I was like, oh my God. So I didn't know what I was doing. If they would have thrown the ball to me, I wouldn't even seen where it was. I was like, oh my, just in shock. So I ran out there and did my thing. I got 3 plays in at halftime, and it was like, it's just fucking Xanadu. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Like at that point, it was like all that hard work, it just paid off because, your coach gave you a shout out and he pushed the scholarship kids away, knowing that they were better. And he goes, hey, go get in because you're never going to probably get this chance, and this will be the chance.
That's awesome.
And it was fucking cool. I didn't have a number. Like we brought everybody that game. We flew everybody. So since I wasn't on a scholarship, they gave me number 91, and I played as a receiver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they were just, I had to have an eligible number. So I'm out there with number 91. I get 3 plays. It was cool though, man. And I love it. And I tell the kids about it all the time. And just the importance of just working hard and just fighting for the team. Because you know what? I got a ring. You know what I mean? I got a Big Sky ring. It's
fucking
legit.
Awesome.
I was part of that. So it was cool.
That's awesome.
It was fucking cool, man. So,
and that is to have that experience and knowledge, especially kids at the junior high and high school level, dude.
Yeah.
It's so I have a guy I work with, and his son is a senior, and he's the way he's built, he's a receiver and I think a DN, but he's 6'2", maybe 215, and I look at him, I'm like, dude, I think he can play D1. I really do. I'm just and then I just say, I'm like, dude, they get weight program. They'll put some weight on him. But, dude, it's just if you want to do that, though, it's so, for you to have that experience, what makes that, I think, so much more valuable. And I don't want to take away from any, high school coaches that didn't play college football or anything. But it's still, if you didn't experience it, you don't understand that because, you step up in that level of competition from what you were, dude, I thought I was pretty good. And I'll tell you, my first time when I got in, as a redshirt freshman, dude, I got fucking rolled. And it was a very fucking eye-opening experience. So, just to have that as a coach is valuable.
I still got a finger jacked up because the quarterbacks just throw so much harder. That first week, man, my finger got jammed. You know what I mean? And it's still bent. It's still bent. The doctor's like, well, you can get surgery on that. Just keep it like that. I'm like, I'm just going to keep it like that. So I have a memory. I've been not catching footballs properly from a quarterback who can throw it 100 miles an hour in college.
Oh man.
But yeah.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I just try to. The biggest thing for me is I was fortunate enough to grow up in a place like San Diego, where the athletes are just abundant. And they're unbelievable, right? Just everywhere. Track, wrestling, football, they're just guys out there, So it's hard for these Maine kids sometimes to be a good athlete, and then they go out of state and they never make it because they've never really competed like that. So I was fortunate where I had to compete all the time like that, and it kind of made me kind of who I am, where it's even at work, I'm just go and just fight and just go and I don't know, but
it's the same here with West Virginia. It'd be the same call. You got to, if you go out of, I don't want to say it with everybody, but we had a local kid, Zach Frazier, that is the starting center for the Steelers. So he bust that trend right up. But I get what you're saying about going out of state, and it can be a different
it's a different
level.
Ball game.
Yeah.
But shout out to your coach, though, for doing that for you. I mean, just to give you that experience and to give you that.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
That fond memory is fucking awesome.
It is. It was cool. It was cool, dude, for sure. Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Luke, anything else about football, or should we get into the wife carrying competition? Because I want to know about this.
Before we get into the wife carrying competition with football, so if you if you're coaching junior high right now, is just I know you're able to get done early, but sometimes shit happens, either traffic accidents, whatever, is that what would hold you back from trying to move up now while you're working? Because you don't. Is it anything with commitment with UP? Has that ever been a problem?
Yeah, the only reason I'm coaching, and don't get me wrong, I love junior high, and it's made me a completely different coach. Because before I was coaching junior high, I was doing like 22 3 jobs, so I could coach high school, and that's like way different. And when I was doing that 23 job, I coached a couple years at a college up here, St. Joe's College. I was coaching track, and I was doing high school track and high school football, and obviously the money's better driving, and we had moved to a new town, and so I started driving, again, and we go at 6 o'clock in junior high because we can kind of set that time because we're youth program. We don't have to go on the school schedule. Well, high school, you can't coach high school unless you get out at 2 o'clock. So you get the same dudes every year at high school. You know what I mean? Like you got coaches that have been for 20 years. So for me, coaching junior high was at a necessity because. Even if I get out at 5, I can still get to 6 o'clock practice. You know what I mean? I can stop, get something to eat, change, go to the bathroom, and I can get my mind about me, and then go to practice. So that's why I do that, because I can make it. I obviously, the last few years, I've talked to the wife about it too, where it's like, I would like to go up, like my energy and my vocal, like. I'm starting to, cuss a little bit more with junior high kids, not in a bad way, just like it comes out. And I'm like, maybe it's time for me to get a little bit more out of it, rather than, junior high, you're really like molding kind of kids to get some aggression out and be young men. And I love that. Don't get me wrong. I love it. It's made me, like I said, a better coach for sure. Right. But, pretty soon I think like, if I could coach high school tomorrow, I would go up for sure, just because it's a different vibe. But I can't because of the job.
Yeah, I didn't. That totally went over my. I don't know why I didn't think about that. That you couldn't do that because they practice right after school. Right. I was like, that totally. So when you when the driving's done, then maybe I got you now. But
Yeah, because I had to do 22 3 jobs before, just to coach high school. And the money's different. You're not getting overtime. And it's now you're staying out. Now you're either like waking up at 2 a.m. to do a morning shift, or you're like going in at 5:30. Working till 1. So you're going fresh from coaching to work, and like not that this is any different, but it's sleeping and stuff is different.
Yeah, so dude, definitely your schedule's a lot more jacked. Yeah, you gotta work different shifts like that. So I get it.
Yeah, but I also take, when I'm coaching like this year, I take all my vacations except for one during the season. So if I turn my optionals into vacation, I get seven weeks. So I took the last 3 weeks of the season off, first round, second round, and the state championship, just to make sure that it gets darker, and UPS, hey, we're going to put a helper on you, and like fuck that, I'm taking those last 3. So, but I took 6 this year for the season. So like I take one first week, work a couple weeks, take another one, work a couple weeks, take one. So I try to spread it out so at least I'm only there half time during that, which sucks, for the family and stuff. But I'm home, so that's good.
Right.
Yeah. But that's that.
Well, that was all I really had with that, Dave. So you could go on ahead.
That's awesome. And you guys, hold on, but you guys win the championship this year?
Yeah.
Is that the picture I saw?
Yeah, dude, we dominated. Oh my God, we're killing teams. The last 2 years at our school, and you gotta imagine. Okay, so like. We're not like the biggest town in Maine, but we're pretty rural. We have like 5 towns we pick from, 6 towns we pick from, so we're really spread out. But the fucking kids here are tough as nails. You know what I mean? They're like grown-ups early, and
awesome.
We built this program. I was coaching at the rival junior high school for 2 years first, and then I came over, and I was the head coach for 5 years. And then like COVID stuff happened, and then I left, and another guy took over who had been there, guy who started with me, who runs everything. And I went to 2 state titles in those 5 years, and then when I came back as an assistant, because the time wise it's just like, and our head coach is awesome. He's amazing. He's runs the community, man. The guy's the best. So for me, coming in and, you know, having like another head coach come in, so it's like you got 2 head coaches, we get the same vision, and with the kids all the time, and we're the largest youth and cheering program in the state of Maine.
Nice.
Wow.
We might not have, like, let's say we have like 55 kids for the Arnold junior high team, which is big for a junior high team. You get some teams only have like 17 kids, right? And, you know, we have 3 teams. We have like 3 full teams. But if you add our cheerleaders, we've got like 25 cheerleaders, 30 cheerleaders, crazy. So we're by far the biggest football and cheering program in the state, in this, our little community. And we've just been rolling. The last 2 years, we've been undefeated. We've won 2 state titles in a row, just killing teams. Honestly, man, like, we didn't have to let anybody score this year. We didn't punt the ball once. I run the offense. We didn't punt the ball once.
Nice.
If we didn't want teams, if we didn't put in some third stringers, you know, because, you know, those guys work hard.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, we gave up a couple at the end because there's a gentleman's rule during the season. If you score over 36, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, if you really think about it, like, you know, I don't think anybody would have if we didn't want them to. You know, we could, like, did we put 70 points on a team the first round of the playoffs because there's no gentleman's rule? 70-0 with 8-minute quarters.
Oh,
in a middle school game, dude.
That's an ass whipping.
dude, the last
awesome.
2 years, like, it's been amazing. You know what I mean? Like, these kids are just but, you know, we do a lot, man. Like, starting in January, we'll start lifting twice a week, you know, and we'll have 30 kids in the weight room. The high school will have like 5 kids, and the junior high will roll in there and have like fucking 30 kids. It's awesome. Twice a week.
That's awesome.
And then we'll do like winter clinics, you know, and we'll do camps all year long, and we keep all the kids involved. Go do your sports, whatever you want to do, because, you know what I mean? It's crazy, man. We built this great program, and the community and the families here are just awesome. And everybody hates us now. They think we should play in a different division. You know what I mean?
Chorus is always going to be there. Always,
you guys got to go to the upper division, you know. But it's awesome, dude. And I love it, and it makes me forget about UPS. That's what I love about it. And that's why my wife, you know, she wants me to coach, because, you know, it's like you come home a different person. You know, I'm not talking about UPS. All I'm worrying about is getting to practice. So, like, your day just snaps. It just goes. You know what I mean? I get a call. I'm like, nope. I hang up, and it's, you know what I mean? And you don't even think about it. Now that, like, coaching's over, you know, peaks up. You know, like, we have our sports banquet tomorrow. So, like, once that's over, it's like, okay, now who am I going to get an argument with? You know what I mean? Like, okay, I guess I'll talk meanly to my boss. You know what I mean? And like, you start, it like affects you, because like, I don't have the football to concentrate to go to. And now, like, I'm worrying about, well, my boss gave me this split, so now I'm going to go be mean to him. Where, like, if he gave me that split during the season, I would give 2 shits. I just do it, get done. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it mentally, for me, I think the kids, and I tell this all the time, dude, you kids do more for me than I think I do for you, because you're giving me a space to, you know, do stuff right. Because, you know, UPS always does stuff right, you know, like.
Oh, of course.
Always.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, you know, now I get to go to a space that, hey, we can do stuff right. You know what I mean? And we can be winners, and we can, like, do stuff. So for me, it's a great break, because, you know.
And I feel like that's even could be the life lesson for just drivers, you know, drivers that are struggling with stuff. Like, find yourself an outlet.
Yes.
That, you know, you can separate, just completely forget about work and keep a positive head on. Because, you know, I mean, you know, there was what I forgot the number it was, but I mean, there's the rate of alcoholics and stuff like that with this job, and just everything like that is through the roof.
Dude, this job is crazy, man. You're exactly right. I know so many guys that it's like they think so much about UPS. They go home thinking about it, thinking about how they got dicked over, thinking about how they're going to go dick that, you know, like, well, this is what I'm going to go do tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm going to go show them. And it's like, it's just constant like that. And it fucks with you. And like, you see guys retire. Like, we had a guy who you know, it's gone. He just couldn't do it anymore, you know, left, retired. And it's not good, man. You know what I mean? No. You're right. Outlets help, especially with this kind of job, because we all know how it is in that place.
Absolutely.
And those guys, it has changed guys. You know what I mean? And I've seen it. and it's like, yeah, have an outlet for sure. And that's what I get pissed about UPS. It's like, fucking let us do some stuff after work. Stop forcing us to punch out at 5:30 because we have to get our 8 hours. Just pay me the 8. I just did a 10-hour day. Like, fuck you. Stop forcing us to take our lunch if we don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, just make it optional. Union, whatever, it's protection. I get it. But like,
yeah,
it's there's some stuff that we could do that like alleviate. Like, hey, let this guy get out early and go see his kids.
Yeah, like not make it a thing to take. Like, don't take you like that's like to go back to Sean Avery on that. Like, why? Yeah. I don't understand. You're gonna and I feel like with the break shit, they can pick and choose with that because it seems like it's always annual where it comes around where you'll see her in a PCM like everybody's got to take their full lunch now or this like it because it'll pop
Peak's
up.
Over now. We got to do
and it's like, or it's not even with peak being over though. Sometimes they just don't say like it's still.
I know.
It can be another random time of the year, and they're like, okay, you got to take at least so. It obviously isn't a thing all the time, so why? Yeah, it is
right,
and it's for like you said with the union thing. But if you want to use it, then use it because it will. Like for me on this route that I'm on, it does put me out a little bit more to take my break at my house, but it doesn't cost me that much more time if I would take it somewhere else and not get to see my daughter and stuff. So like, for me to take my break, I'm kind of in a unique spot. Like for me right now, if it keeps up with me having these sections where I can go home every day. Because me taking my break on the road, I do collect more time doing that. But if I have a day where I need to get home, and you don't have to be like, hey, you didn't take 30 minutes of break yesterday. Like,
I know, so, no exception, right?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, my wife's in the hospital. So let me just wait here in the building for 30 minutes, like,
right,
or like get written up, like, dude, it's crazy. And like I said, once these older guys left, these leaders and these supervisors, the building managers, those are the guys that would leave beer in your truck for helping somebody. Those days are over. Those guys are gone. These guys are, they're trying to keep their job. You know what I mean? Like, like that's their only thing is how do we not lose our job today? Like, we need to write 10 people up. That's what we're gonna do. It's fucking weird. It's weird, man.
But enough about UPS. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm crazy.
The wife carrying competition, man. So,
yeah, dude.
It's going back to Sean Avery. He told me that you built an obstacle course.
Yeah. So, so there's all the courses are kind of different. So the first one we ever did was up here in Maine. It's the North American Wife Carrying Championship, right? So it all kind of starts here in Maine, right? Or it came from Finland, but we do it at Sunday River. It's a ski resort up here.
Okay.
So,
hold on. Whose idea was it to do this? Was it yours or was it the missus?
Well, we had seen it for a while. She's the one that saw it, and then we kept saying we're going to go up and watch it, right? Like, let's just go up and watch and check it out, yada, yada, that. And then we finally just said, let's just do it, right? And
awesome.
Yeah. So there was a couple log obstacles. So the logs are probably like waist high, right? Like you got to be like 6'7" to step over it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to straddle over it. So we built one of those in our yard. It's still up. You know what I mean? It's like kind of crusty now, but we had it. We were practicing doing that. Yeah. Makes sense. Me, I'm like, hey, if we're going to do this, let's do this. Like, let's train.
Right.
Like, let's watch some stuff, Like, honestly, dude, I was wearing, like, a weight vest when I was delivering. Like I would go, like, an hour with the weight vest on. And just because I was training for it. And it was fucking great. The customer's like, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? And that was before CrossFit was big. I was doing that before CrossFit was big, man. But so dude, like honestly, it's just this weird skill I had, right? So like I was pretty good at track. I was a 400 guy, so I had a lot of stamina, anyways. And then my whole life, I had been training for this and didn't even know because I worked at UPS, right? In and out, carrying packages, 70-pound packages, running back and forth to houses. You don't even know you're training for it, right? So we go up there. I got a good running background. I know how to carry stuff and do it fast, and I feel good about it. And we go up there and we smoke it. We like break the course record our first year, and it just went.
Holy shit!
And I think it was just the timing of it. Like at that time, it was kind of getting kind of popular in America. You know what I mean? 'Cause it was pretty big in Finland, and I think we just hit it at the right time. Because like we were living up north, and like I was coaching at a high school, and we were entered in it, and a local paper got wind that we were entered in it. Hey, you know, a local team, you know, he coaches at the high school. So they did an article on us in the paper, and they kind of propped us up a little bit. You know, they came to the house, took pictures before we even raced, you know, so we're like, shit, we kind of got to compete here. So we went up there, and we crushed it. And my first race, I friggin' fell like 10 feet in front of the finish line. I think I posted it the other day on Instagram. Fucking, I thought I broke my shoulder, man. And I remember because my best buddy's like, hey, Dave, you don't have to do this, right? Like telling me like, hey, you need to do this because you're not a pussy, you know? Like, your friends are like, hey, you don't have to do this, bro. And I'm like, yeah, fuck you, right? So, you know, so we went and did it, and we ended up winning it that first year. And it was just weird, man. It just kind of went viral. Like the second year, like we got calls from like Bert the Conqueror, and he like came up, and like we did like a couple of interviews with some other TV shows and stuff. You know, kind of like these little, travel channel and stuff like that. So there's a couple years there where it was pretty big, and I think people just kind of liked how we were because like not a lot of people were married. You know, like we were actually married. You know, and a lot of people a lot of people would bring in ringers. You know, like there'd be like these big Finland Estonian dudes, and they'd bring in like women that were a certain weight because in Finland you have
like
to weigh
4'9".
Yeah. You can't be under 104 pounds, right? Or you have to wear weight in Finland. You got to put like a backpack on with like weights in it to get to 104. So everyone would kind of, they find little small women that were like right at 104 pounds, you know. So I think people liked us for our personality and that we were actually married and we were local. So it was cool, man. It was a pretty cool little run there, like social media wise and stuff. And it was awesome. It was fun. And then we went to Finland and did that, and it was fun. We met a lot of people. I'm still friends with, some Lithuanians and guys from Finland and stuff. And, it was cool. And
so wild.
Yeah, it was weird, man. It just happened. We just went and did it, and we fucking crushed it. And everybody's like, oh, my God, you're going to win Finland. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but we're going to go. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
And you go there, and they're like monsters. They're like over 6 feet tall and just look good, and they're just tight. And I was like, what am I doing here? And we competed good, man, and we earned a lot of respect, and it was fun. It was definitely
sweet.
Fun, man. And so I had my little 2 minutes of fame there for a little while, but it was cool. It was cool, man. Yeah.
Dude, that is crazy though to think. But I mean, that would be tough, man. That's because just no matter if it's 104-pound person, it doesn't matter because this just as well as I do. You've lifted weights, dude. Carrying a body or carrying 100, like there's a thing of like you bench press 135 pounds easily, but you're going to carry a 135-pound person like them, dude. That isn't easy. You know what I mean?
And sprinting, like I'm not walking, and you're going uphill. And the course in Sunday River was, I think, 274 yards, I think it is. So it's like, you go up a hill. As you're going up a hill, you go over the log, and you keep going up a hill, and then come down, go over like another log, and you go through a water structure like thing, It's like you're waist deep in water, right? And you come out over a sand hill. In Finland, the water thing, you're like drenched. My wife was fully immersed in the water for like seconds, because it's like you're running in a pool. Yeah, it's like running in a pool, and you run out of it, and it's crazy. It's like, but you're like sprinting. It's you put them on. This is the way you put them on. I wear them like a backpack. You flip them over, and their legs are up, crossed over here, and their heads down on your back, and so your hands are free, and it's like awesome. It's great, and I just started running. It's all I knew how to do. Just fucking run,
so good.
and just work hard and finish and see what happens. And all of a sudden, it was just like, whoom, that first time up there, And then some guys came up, and we had some competitions up there for a while. The Finnish champion came over the third year, and he came and competed and won the American one. And, you know, it was cool, man. Yeah, so it got pretty. He
awesome.
actually came over, and he was on Michael Strahan and Kelly Ripa show that they do. He came over here and then went to New York.
Shit.
And they had him on, and he like raced them and stuff. It was pretty neat. So it had a little moment. It had a little moment there. Me and my wife always like to say that we were part of that, helping that be a moment.
Yeah,
you know,
hell yeah.
right.
Where it was cool. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, man.
That's sweet, dude.
Yeah. Who knew, right? All these years of UPSing and
Right. The whole time you were just made
the
for
whole
this,
time.
didn't even realize it.
Just waiting for the right person. You know, like waiting to move to Maine from San Diego. You know,
Right.
I worked at UPS for 15 years, just so I could go be a wife carrier. It was crazy, man. I know.
That's awesome.
I know. Sean loves that. He loves that, man. Those guys, they love that story.
Well, that was what, because Sean was he had was that you, Dave was talking to him or messaged him on the podcast page, and Sean, I think he mentioned too. He said he was telling it because he was the one that brought it up that we should try to get you on, and he said he's got a wife. Yeah, dude, I could tell he was a fan, and. He'd say, "Well, we'll have to get you guys all together to have the main episode one of these days."
I know,
He mentioned
man.
that too.
He actually said that, and he said we would call it the main event.
Yeah,
Oh my
see
God, I
that?
forgot about that. The main event.
See
The
that?
main
He
event.
knows, man. He knows.
He knows.
Fucking knows, man. I love that guy.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Shane.
We're gonna get a route together one of these days. I'm gonna get him down to my center one of these days. Give him a nice cushy coastal route. Me and him retirement route and just crush it. They could probably get rid of 2 runs with us down there. You know,
Yeah, for
fucking
sure.
do it. Right? You know, just
amazing.
do it. That's the big deal.
That's amazing. Luke, do you have anything else for our guest?
I think. I mean, I feel like there's a lot. Well, I mean, it's not like we can always do a part 2 because I feel like we could have a lot to uncover.
I know.
But I think I'm good on my end, brother. That I can think of offhand.
I know one really quick. We have to get in a long discussion, but I saw Dave, you had a post today about, was that you with the helper board with the maps or the phone?
Oh yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I learned that today too because my helper, like I said, he used to be a driver, so I actually get a real diad, right?
Yeah.
Because the phones suck. So I get another diad and log him in. And then he was going, oh, look at this, Coach. He calls me Coach. He goes, Coach, look, there's a little map feature here, a little car going around. I'm like, what do you mean? They took that out. No, because I log him in as a helper.
Yep.
And I'm like, so I was telling the lady in the office today, I go, hey, if I log in as a helper and then before I punch out, log back in as a driver, like, does that work? She's like, oh, don't do that.
So,
But those fucking UPS, man, they gave us, we took it out because we want you guys to follow fucking Orion. But it works for the helpers, though?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Make
We
it
just
make
talked to you.
sense. Make it make sense. So here's what I heard, and we heard this maybe about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
But you can log into your board with your employee ID, switch the role to helper, and still get paid your driver rate. It's just because your driver rate is linked to your ID, not the role that you log into.
No shit.
So but don't come to all in the delivery if you get in trouble.
So if I try it one day, and I log in as a helper, my maps work.
Yeah.
Right.
It should
I
be
go back
fine.
in?
Sure, rumor has it. I haven't tried it yet, but rumor has it that you get paid your driver
it
rate.
says it's
at
not. It
what you work
works
on.
from what because I have a bit like I know my area, so I don't really need it anyway
I
where
know,
I'm
me
at. So
too.
I've never tried it, but right. But just it's the principle of it, though, dude. It is like
It is the principle.
because like there's times where I'm volunteering for next Saturday. I told him I would get some extra OT, and like I'm in an area that I don't know because it might happen. Like then I get pissed. I'm like, this fucking sucks. But
It's stupid if you're a cover driver.
It is dumb.
No, it's dumb.
Only
I hate
for
it.
Orion. Yeah, it is.
I
dumb.
hate it because my Orion sucks, and I have to scroll. I'm scrolling. So like, if I have 200 stops today with my helper, you're fucking scrolling the whole day because it's so bad. Like, what's the point of that?
Just making sure you don't miss anything, making sure you don't drive past something.
I got an idea. Just turn the map on. I can look at it and do it more efficiently. But God forbid, I've only been doing it for
That's too easy, though.
I know,
26
man.
years.
That baffles me.
I'm like 4 miles under every day and paid under like 2 hours. Yeah, like fucking, like I'm the guy you're gonna turn all this shit off on. Like
Right.
It's unbelievable. I'm gonna try that one day. I'm gonna put in as a helper. Maybe I'll wake up
and then if something happens, just be like, oh man, my bad. I don't know what happened. Accidentally fucking switched it.
That's what I was asking her today. Can you like change it when you first start and then go back into your employee info and change it back, or no?
No.
It stays
After
there,
you punch in, that's it. Yeah.
That's it, right?
But it should be fine, apparently.
Right. So.
Yeah.
But we'll have to get some more test on that.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna post it so everybody fucking knows what happens.
There you go.
Yes,
that's the way I am.
do. Please do.
Hell yeah.
Who cares if I get paid a day as a helper? Whatever. I'll just say I fucked up.
Yeah, that's all.
Hey, are they making you guys stay till 5:30 to get your 8 hours? Because they just started doing that with us. So we have to take a mandatory 30-minute break for our contracts. It's not an hour for us; it's 30 minutes. So before I could get done at 4 o'clock, 3:45, 4:15, leave, and as long as the paper said I was over 8, they'd pay me 8. Right? No big deal. And I always told them to keep me a little bit heavier so I get my 8. And they had no issues with that. But recently, when I got back off vacation, they said, no, you have to wait till 5:30 now, and we're not even allowed to 05 anybody anymore, anything. So we got like 20 drivers in there waiting in line at 5:30 just to punch out, and they've been sitting there since 4 o'clock. Have they been doing that with you guys too, or no?
They have given the option they're still allowing people here to 05, at least for now. For me, I normally, I don't have any problem getting 8 hours normally because I have a shit ton of pickups that are spread out.
Yeah,
I break twice, especially that area that I'm on now because it's further away and it's not my normal shit. Like when I break at 2 o'clock, I might be 10 or 12 miles away. And then when I got to break again at 4, it's the same thing. So for me, but yeah, they're offering it because I got a message about it the other day. But yeah, so at least for now, when this like maybe they won't, but yeah, they are still allowing us to 05 here.
Yeah. When I said no, I meant no. They're not doing that to us.
They're not doing that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks because it's like. Me, I'm like the ultimate, like, I'm going to get out early, just pay me my 8. I don't care. You owe me 10 hours, but I'll pay me 8, whatever. But they're doing it to everybody. It's like, no, you have to stay till 5:30. I'm like, yeah, but I'm done at 4. They're like, just sit around then and wait.
And that's everything. It's that. It's
I know.
The cameras in the trucks.
I know.
It's
like,
it's
dude,
so much now. There's so much just micromanaging going on.
Dude, that's why I take my vacation time during football. Could you imagine them doing this to me in the first playoff start, and all of a sudden like, no, you have to stay till 5:30 now? You're fucking kidding me? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Like, we're the number 1 seed. I did all this work, and now you're telling me I can't make practice. Like, dude, that's why I take my vacation, because I don't trust them.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
God, it's sad, but it's sad that you got. But it's
sad
true.
To say, but yeah,
I know.
Exactly.
You have to.
Exactly.
My God, dude. Anyways,
it's nuts.
Yeah.
So, David, do you? We always like to ask our guests before we leave. Do you have any questions for us? Is there anything you got for us?
Yeah. What made you want to kind of start this? Just, is it same sort of thing like when I coach, just a way to kind of get stuff out, or
the podcast you're talking about?
Yeah. Just
I think. Hold on a second, Luke. Didn't Give Me More Cosplay ask this too at the end of her episode? I think
she did, but I'll go ahead and just. I mean, for people listening, we've said it before her episode. So I mean, it's been, but we. Originally, it was 4 of us that started it, and we were going to do like YouTube videos, and the podcast came about just from when the pandemic started, and it wasn't really like it. I always say like I was the last one brought in. Dave and Bobby. We don't really know who's. I think Dave and Bobby were the ones that actually had the idea to do the podcast, and then Brad Mosier, who was a part of it briefly in the beginning there, Brad was with us, and I remember he was the one that got a hold of me, and then I talked to Bob. So it was just a thing, we didn't know really. We didn't have, I don't know, we didn't really have any expectation of how it was going to go, but I mean, now that it's been years now, and Dave and I have stuck with it. It is a relief. Like I enjoy doing it a lot, or I wouldn't not do it if I didn't enjoy it. And that was what I always said the last time when we took but it is kind of a grind, and it does take a lot of work, and that's like we've always tried to do December episodes where we've had 3 guest episodes for December for peak season, because we try not to record in December, and we literally to do that, that's what we will have to do, maybe back to back, do one on a Friday and do one on a Saturday, and it's fun to do, but it's just like life stuff, like when my kid was born, because my daughter is about 2.5, and she when she was born, my dog all of a sudden became like a fucking nightmare, and to do this, dude, it almost stopped. I was almost like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, because I'll just say that he went from just sitting by my feet to my daughter's born, and he would just be at the top of the steps and just start fucking barking, which he never did. And then it's before, if he did that, I didn't have to worry about it. But I got a newborn now, so in my house, I got a 1-story house. My house isn't I don't have a big house, and I'm just fucking running up the steps to grab him, and then coming down just little shits, and just it's stuff that, but no, I mean, I love doing it. And Dave, we've tried to, with this second round of it, we've done pretty well with everything. Scheduling, we haven't had to do anything. We said we wouldn't do shit on the fly anymore. If we want, if we can't record on a week, it's not the end of the world. But we've been able to really keep a pretty consistent schedule. Knock on wood so far. It's been
because when we first started, we put out 100 and how many was it? 110, 111 episodes,
somewhere around that,
maybe.
Ish.
And we put them out weekly. We put them out every week for people, and like Luke said, when we first started, it was me, Bobby, which everybody knows, at UPS guy on Instagram, which is no longer there, I don't think. But
he unplugged. He unplugged for a bit.
He unplugged, right?
He unplugged. Yep.
Yeah.
And Brad Mosier, and then Bobby and Brad ended up leaving and departing, and then Luke and I decided just to keep going with it, and like Luke said, it's we wouldn't be doing it if we didn't enjoy it. Right. And I think one of the coolest things about it is we get to meet so many people like you, and so many other drivers too. And I mean, we've had drivers, as Luke would say, that are across the pond. Yes. We've had Alex Lane that's over in Europe. On here. We also had Luke, help me out.
I mean,
who was the other Europe?
Paul Jones, he's in the
UK. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And then Paul Jones. So it's getting to meet other drivers who, everybody has a story to tell. Yeah. Everybody has a story, whether it be how they, just about life, or how we talked a lot about you outside of work. Yeah. And just all that. Everyone has a story.
It's a melting pot of different personalities, and I think that's what the coolest thing with the whole.
That's a good way of putting it.
I think the thing with the even in the cardboard community so to speak, just of different drivers. I feel like it's a unique area because it's all different races, it's all different backgrounds, orientations, It's everything, but we all share kind of, and it's like, unless you're in it, or you're kind of like you're a spouse of it, or you're somebody that's like really close to somebody. People really don't, people that listen to the podcast, and we appreciate all of our listeners that aren't drivers either, and they could hear us talk about it for 131 episodes, but they're not going to know you know what I mean? It's a unique community, man, because it's just like the little shit with the delivery world, but. Yeah, that's, and the people, the people that listen and the people that follow and been a part of it for a long time. It's just, man, there's been a lot of, like, it's just to say it again, like when we all met up for the 100th episode, it was the only time in my life that I can say because we had, like, Dave's cousin Nate was involved with it. We had a few other people, Joe and Amy Rogan, that were involved with it. So we all met up, and then he might be in here. I don't know if he is or not, or whoever was Pete, but Tony Cook, who's been a long time listener, and he came up and met us, and it was fucking awesome. He's a driver from Georgia.
Yeah.
And it was like, the only thing that was so weird about it is because we'd done so many of these episodes, recorded so much shit, talked to Dave so much, talked to Nate so much, talked to Joe and Amy so much, that the weirdest thing was hearing their voices and seeing like a body to it. That was so fucking weird to me, because I was like, I'll never have this experience again, because there's never a time in my life I can think that I'm going to have this much dialogue with somebody that I haven't met in person before. It is, that was what was wild. Like turning away and hearing someone's voice, and then you look around like, oh shit. Look, there they are.
Literally went 100 episodes without ever meeting each other, like in person.
That's
Well,
it's cool, man. It's cool you guys do this, and I like tapping in and seeing stuff and talking to the guys. But it's cool because like my wife says, because she's off Instagram too. She's like, like you said, some people just unplug.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to do, man. It is.
My problem is that I enjoy Like, if I was going to unplug, I could unplug a lot of stuff, but I'd want to keep the UPS stuff because I like seeing it. I like to see the bullshit. I like to see people driving, and I like to hear about it. There's just something about it that just makes you feel like, oh, yeah, I went through that too.
Right.
And it's like so enjoyable to me. Everyone's like, just unplug. I'm like, no, I fucking like it. Like, I'll unplug everything else, but as long as I can look in and see what you guys are doing at UPS, I'd be like, yep, I went through that today. It's cool. Right. So this shit's cool, man. I think it's helpful, and it's a good outlet, and it just even seeing one thing, I think will help people be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to yell at my boss tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, they're right. Or, you know what I mean? Just it's cool, dude. It's cool. I love it. It's a good deal, man.
Thank you. So it's just like you said earlier, and I just lost my thought as I just said that. Actually, holy shit. But like, it is relatable where people can say like, oh yeah, here's my thought. Is that it happens everywhere? Like, it's like, oh, wait a second, I thought this was only my building. No. This is every single building. Yep. Yes. Where the same bullshit flies through the air, and just
It's great.
So I think that's something cool where people can relate to it, and like I said, it's an outlet to people. So.
That's awesome, man. You guys are great.
Awesome. Cool. So, David, thank you, buddy, for coming on, brother.
Yeah, dude, we appreciate you coming on,
hanging out with us.
Sir, it was fun. It was fun.
And all that. Guys, go follow him if you haven't yet. Go follow him at UPS Maine.
Yeah.
Go follow Luke at Real Nomad Delivery Guy. And if you're new here, follow that and everybody and our page as well at AITD Pod. Also, like I said at the top of the episode, if you'd like to be a part of the Patreon's family, go to patreon.com/AITDpod. David, thank you again for joining us. My co-host, Luke, and I am also Dave. Guys, we'll see you all next week.
Later, everybody.